Good day, everyone who has joined us today. Thank you so much for turning up. This is the fourth, no, it is not. Well, it is. It's the Four Cornerstones of Love, part four. This is my seventh talk, 17th of May. Thank you very much for coming along. Always great to have you. Let's get going. Let's do a recap on last week's talk, last week's video. What did we talk about? Well, what did I talk about? Because it was me, right? Not you. I explored the four stages of learning through the example of learning how to drive a car. So I hope that that sat with some of you when you get absolutely petrified and wonder why it is that you are not able to do something. You can now remind yourself you are possibly in the stage of consciously incompetent, and that is exactly how you are going to feel. It's okay. Yeah, I gave you a reminder that learning anything new often comes with challenges, and it's super duper important to keep going and to push through them. You will feel like you want to turn back. You will feel like you're not able. You will feel like maybe you're not good enough. You'll feel like maybe you don't have the skills. These are all actually a very natural part of the learning process. And what you want to do when you are feeling these things is to allow yourself to feel them. Maybe pause for a minute, take a little bit of a space to decompress, and then take another step forward and move on. You can do it. Whatever you do, and this is what we talked about in the last bit, I highlighted that the only thing that truly ends your learning journey is the loss of will. Okay, that's the only thing that will stop you from learning or doing anything it is that your heart truly desires. It will be the loss of will. Because every other challenge can be overcome. But without the will to continue, your journey will cease. Okay? Your journey will completely stop. And it's so important that you remember that, because then when you are participating in learning or trying to do something that's new to you, realize, don't lose the will. Don't give up. Because whatever you do, when you keep pursuing that, you'll be able to get to where it is that you want to. And that's a promise. That's psychology. That's a fact. Okay? It's been researched. It's been written about. There's been qualitative and quantitative research done about it. And that's proof. So don't give up. Now, last week's closing question. What was it? Those of you that thought about it, well done. Those of you that reflected on it, even better. And those of you that answered it and brought stuff into your awareness, well done. Because that's what this is all about. Last week's question was, who in your life helps your nervous system to feel safe and at ease? And how is it that they do that? What qualities do they embody that allow you to relax and show up as your most authentic self? Isn't that a lovely question? It really is. So here's what you shared. Here's what I got back in from one of my viewers. He said, well, it's my older brother. When I'm angry or shut down, I can vent without him taking it personally or trying to fix me. If I'm sad, I know I can sit in silence with him and he won't make it awkward or force me to talk. Isn't that lovely? How often does somebody let you just sit there if you're in a mood or if you're not feeling right and not force you to talk? He just stays neutral. He doesn't judge and he doesn't leave. That helps me feel safe enough to feel what I feel without needing to pretend I'm fine. It helps me feel safe to actually sit with what I'm feeling without having to fake that I'm okay. I don't have to explain myself or worry that I'm being too much. He just gives me space to be exactly how I am. And that is from Jamal. So Jamal, thank you so much for that. Like, that is a beautiful response and something that I think we can all take something from. You know, when we are given a space in which we know we are not being judged, in which that person doesn't leave either, they stay, but they make you feel safe enough to feel whatever it is that you're actually feeling without needing to talk about it, without needing to kind of tell me what's wrong, just let you just be in it. and allow you to do whatever it is that you need to do. That is a godsend. And this is something that I would ask for you guys to think about. Who is that person in your life? But also, who are you being that with in the lives of those that you care about, those that you love? Who are you doing that with? Are you? Are you not? It's really important, because that is so soothing for your nervous system. It really is. Now, I like this quote a lot. The essence of trauma is disconnection from self. The essence of trauma is disconnection from the self. And the essence of healing is not just uncovering the pain, but to reconnecting with our authentic self in the presence of another who sees us, who hears us, and does not turn away. And that's Dr. Gabor Maté. And I love Dr. Gabor Maté. He's amazing, amazing. For those of you who don't know much about him, please do. He works with trauma. He works with trauma. He works with addictions, and he has some amazing insights. He's worked with a lot of people, but what he says here is, again, something we don't take account of. What I hear a lot of people saying to me is that they feel sad, that they feel they need somebody. They feel sad that they feel alone, and that they don't want to feel alone. And listen, it is in our DNA. It is in our wiring that we want somebody to be there as a mirror to reflect us back, because actually that's how we see ourselves the most clearly, because there is a whole aspect of us, about 25% of us actually, that is known to others but not known to ourselves. And then there's another 25%, which is not known to ourselves and unknown to others. And what we want to be able to do to bring that into awareness is to be able to reflect and talk about it, and to talk about how we're feeling about things, to talk about how we perceive things, and how they make us feel and what we make them mean. And by doing that, we can bring into awareness aspects of ourselves that we were not initially aware of. Because as you say it out loud, you go, oh God, I've never said that before. Oh God, I've never said it in that way before. I've never known that about myself. And that's just you talking out loud. It's not somebody else necessarily contributing. They might have asked you a question, or you might just want to tell them about something. So having a mirror and a safe space to do that in, and I mean a safe space, just telling somebody and talking to somebody and having that relationship is not necessarily a safe space. It really isn't. A safe space is one in which, as Jamal quite rightly said, he was able to express anything it was that he needed to express, even if it was nothing, in a space in which that person just stayed, didn't make him feel pressure to behave in any particular way other than that which he felt, whatever that feeling may be. It's a beautiful thing. So thank you, Dr. Gabor Maté. Now, a question for reflection for you. What stops you from letting yourself be fully seen? Especially with the people who feel safe. What stops you from letting yourself be fully seen, even with the people who feel safe? Take a moment to notice. Is it fear of rejection? Is it being misunderstood? Or not fully trusting that safety quite yet? Is it, or what would it take for you to trust yourself to be you? It's a great point for you to reflect on, because you was born to be you. You wasn't actually born to conform. You wasn't born to be what it is that the system or the unit or the society or culture tells you to be. You were born to be you. So when is it that you'll start to trust yourself and allow yourself to be you a bit more, especially with people that are safe? So the 4 cornerstones of love, what are they? Let me remind you. Cornerstone 1, and they go in this order. Empathy always comes first. Okay? Without empathy, you cannot have respect. You cannot build respect. You cannot be respectful. So respect is second. Third is knowledge. Now, without empathy and respect, you can't actually build knowledge, because you'll be too busy judging or making things mean or reacting to things. And so you won't be able to build a healthy, balanced, congruent amount of knowledge. It will be quite dissonant, actually, probably a bit mythical and assumption based. And then After you are practicing and starting to become familiar with those three, only then is it that you can be responsible, which is the fourth pillar, responsibility, the ability to respond to ours or those that we love, their needs, always ours first. So, empathy, respect, knowledge, and responsibility, the four cornerstones, the pillars of love. Without these, there is no healthy, balanced, deep, congruent love. It's not there. Love isn't something that just happens, it's something you consciously create. These four cornerstones give you the foundation to build deeper, healthier connections with yourself and the people who matter to you. They help make relationships something grounded, meaningful, and lasting, bringing a sense of peace through true connection. Pop it in the comments below. Who makes you feel grounded, meaningful, and a sense of peace through connection? Who around you, who in your life makes you feel this way? Pop that in the comments below. Why? If you are not in that answer that you just gave me, then imagine there is no safe space inside of you. Imagine there is no love being created within you. And that's where you've got to start first. It's so important. Because without it, you won't feel grounded. There won't be meaning. You won't feel peace, and you won't feel connection. Now, let's talk about empathy. Seeing beyond our story. I'm going to give you an example today of what empathy in real life might look like, sound like, and when it's not happening, how it might look and sound. So, how many times have you misunderstood someone's actions only to later find out they were dealing with something you had no idea about? And I hear this a lot. I hear people going, oh, I didn't realize that was going on. Oh, I didn't know this was this. How about we assume that from the offset? Because then you won't need to know. And actually, most people don't know what somebody else is going through because that person's not necessarily telling people. Now, let's take a deeper look into what happens when we stop reacting from our own fears and narratives and start imagining what might be going on in someone else's existence instead. Should we do that? I think we should. Empathy is not about agreement. It really isn't. If you're being empathic, it doesn't mean you go, oh, that's okay, but I understand, I see what you're saying. No. And it is never excusing hurtful behavior. No, never does empathy excuse hurtful behavior. It also doesn't go, well, because you were suffering or because you're not okay, it means how I felt is okay. No, it's not. No, it's not. That is not true empathy. That is not what we talk about when we talk about empathy and love. It's the ability to pause our assumptions long enough to see the person and other perspectives more clearly. That's empathy. Okay? You see, pause our assumptions long enough. That's all it is. Let's explore how that can look, feel, and change the way we respond when we use love and not fear. So the first pillar of love, empathy. What does it look like in everyday life? Oh no, isn't that a lovely yellow? You know, seeing as we're moving into summer now, it must be. What story do you tell yourself here? Let's give you an example. You're walking down the street and you spot your friend on the other side of the road. You say their name. Hello. You wave, smiling, waiting for them to notice. Hiya. Waving. And they glance in your direction. They don't respond and keep walking straight past you. Dun, dun, dun. What story have you just told yourself here? Tell me. Go on. Again, pop it in the comments below, please. What is it that you will think? And be really honest. Don't think about it long. Don't be reflective. Just be really honest. What are the thoughts that you would have walking down the road as you're on your way to wherever you're going? So, what's your first thought? Is it, OMG, are they ignoring me on purpose? Is it, oh my God, hold on a minute. Did someone say something to her? Is it, oh my God, did I do something wrong? Or is it? Oh my God, stuck up cow. I didn't like her much anyway. She can. Any one of those? Can you relate to any one of those? Can you? Can you? Be honest. Or was it? That's strange. I wonder if they're okay. They did seem rather distracted. I wonder if they actually saw me. Because to be honest, they looked a bit glaze-eyed. I don't know. She was a bit kind of not here. I think I'll drop them a message later, see if they're okay. Yeah, something's not right. Look at the difference between those. What I want to know is what's your first thought? Which thoughts would you have carried home with you? I want to know. The power of checking in. This is where empathy begins, in the gap between assumption and the suspension of our ego. Fear versus love. Instead of jumping to conclusions, you send a quick message. Hey, I saw you earlier, but you really did look deep in thought. I'm just checking in. I hope all is okay. You don't hear anything back. Later, though, they reply, I'm so sorry I missed you. I've just found out that I'm being made redundant. I was completely in my head and I didn't even notice anyone around me. I'm really sorry. Oh, how do you feel now? Tell me the truth. How do you feel now? Funny, you had to wait to hear that until you changed your mind. Why? Interesting, isn't it? What could have become a story about rejection. They don't want to be friends with me anymore. Why? Which is based on your triggers. So if somebody has a trigger around rejection, that's probably what you would have thought. Yeah, they don't want to be my friend anymore. Why? Why? What did I do? Abandonment. I'm always the one that's left out. I'm always alone. It's always me. So if you've got a trigger or a trauma around abandonment, it could have invoked that one. It could have invoked shame. I have that one. I have shame. I must have looked like such a waving like that. I'm an idiot. I'm going to feel shame, embarrassed. What a muppet. Self-loathing. I never fit in. I'm boring. No one ever likes me. And if you've got a trauma around that, could have kicked that one off. Suspicion. Maybe somebody's told them something bad about me. I wonder what they've said. I bet it was that what's her name sitting down that what's its face next to them telling whatever about whomever. I bet it was them said something about me. Stupid cows. Resentment. That's another trauma that we could have in there. After everything that I've done for them, really, this is what you do? I tell you what. And then you harbour that and you carry it around with you for how long? God, for years possibly. Some people carry it around for the whole of their lives. Anger. How dare they ignore me like that? Never again. She's not even allowed to breathe the same air as me. I hate you. Imagine that's the story that it could have been about, that would have been attached and associated to that relationship for the rest of your life. Instead, you paused, and rather than feeding the story in your head, you did the one thing that brings clarity. What's that? You asked. And by asking, you discovered the truth, not the story that had you spiraling. Remember that. The stories that we tell ourselves that come from our traumas that are triggered by a particular experience are not truth. They are narratives. They are your hurt and pain coming up to say, this reminds me of this. Oh my God, run for your life. And it will get you to run by either feeling like you've done something wrong and so you feel bad, or it will get you to run by being angry. Either way, it will want you to run. It's so important to remember that fear and being in a narrative of fear will always do this to you. Our job is to start to break out of the narrative of fear and start to move into a framework and a paradigm and a narrative of love. And that narrative would say, but I don't know what's going on in her life. And actually, I wonder if she even saw me. Do you know what? I don't actually know what happened. I am going to reach out without any expectation, without any shoulda, woulda, couldas. I'm just going to reach out because, and you're not doing it for her. You're doing it for you. This is the key here. Love doesn't act in these ways for another. It acts in these ways for themselves. So this is empathy for you so that you do not go spiraling out of control. And then you've got to call 257 friends of yours to try and figure out what happened. Was it you? Was it them? Was it this? And then to sit on ChatGPT all night long, asking ChatGPT a ton of questions about what it could be. And then ChatGPT gives its narrative based on whatever it is it thinks you want to hear, because that's how it kind of works. And then you hear the things you want to hear, and then it just reinforces your narrative. The only person that gets hurt in all of that is you. No one else. The only person that ends up feeling lonely, hard done by, abandoned, rejected is you. And that's something we start to want to work on. I don't want you to feel rejected and abandoned. You don't want you to feel rejected and abandoned and to be self-loathing and to be resentment, to be resentful and angry. We don't want that. No. What we want is for you to be as peaceful as one can be in the world that we're living in today, which is a bit difficult at times, I know, but hey, we can only but have the will. And to do that, you would move over and use the framework of love. And love says, I ain't got a clue what actually happens, so I'm going to reach out and find out. That's what love says. Now, when you do that, it becomes a story about compassion. They're going through something I cannot see. This is true for 8.2 billion people on the surface of this earth right now. They are all going through something that we cannot see. Take that as a fact outright. Why do you have to wait till somebody tells you that that's what happened? Why can't you just go in with, there must be something going on? Now, that doesn't mean that whatever you're feeling is not valid. Of course it is, but it is our responsibility to give whatever it is that we are feeling what it needs. It is not another's. So I want to give whatever it is that's kicked off in me what it needs. And then if I'm being compassionate, I'm going to go, well, she's obviously going through it. Something's going on. What do I then want to do? If I've got the capacity and the time and the energy, I'll reach out. I might not have. Well, then I might not reach out. However, that comes with consequences. It also became a story about emotional intelligence. This is out of character for them. I wonder if they're okay. That is only said by an emotionally intelligent person. What is emotional intelligence? It is when you are not being subjective in your responses to an experience or a situation. It is when you are able to be balanced enough to, of course, see, feel, and hear and understand yourself and your pain and respond to it, but also to take a step back and to look at another and go, and there are also a number of quite logical, rational things that could be going on over there that I don't know about. One is she obviously didn't see me or did not notice me. If she's blanking me, I can still reach out and find out should I want to, but I won't know if she's actually blanking is an Urban Dictionary term for ignoring me. So if she's blanking me, well, there's only one way to find out. It also became a story about ego suspension. What is this? This is putting your ego down for a minute. I'll check in to understand if it's me. Not, well, she wants to ignore me, fine. I'm not going to reach out. I'm not even going to talk to her anymore. That's your ego. That's fine. But your ego is about like freaking 12 years old. acting like, a hard done by angry child, which we are not. We are, well, unless you are, and if you are, then you're going through the psychosocial stage that, has been given, and I absolutely understand, and I hope you're supported through that. But if you're not, and you're an adult, chronological, and everything is balanced, and you don't have any other ailments that are causing anything, don't take it out of context, any other ailments that are causing anything, then you really do want to be able to suspend your ego, which we all have the ability to do. And if you don't know how to, then learn, and I will help you. So you can watch my videos and you can learn. But you want to suspend your ego, and you kind of want to go, I'll check in, find out what's going on. If I want to. And if I don't want to, I won't. But either way, I'm going to choose. And I'll be owning the consequences of that choice. It became a story about awareness. Once I did reach out, I got a response, and I went, it wasn't about me after all. Bloody hell, she's been made redundant. Oh, bless her. And I know she's got a lot going on. And I know that actually I think her partner was made redundant just a few months ago. God, that's going to be devastating. I wonder what company. Oh, my God, is that the company? Oh, I wonder who else that's. Oh, my God. Look how lucky I am. I'm so glad that my job is as secure as it can be. It became a story about connectedness, and connectedness is key to you feeling peace. We're present and not lost in the stories that we tell ourselves. This is how you remain connected, okay? By being present. And the only way that you can be present is if you are not lost in the narrative in your head. It's a story, and it will be a story until you go and fact check it. And if you don't fact check it, it will be a fictional story. And you have to accept that. If you like it or not, I don't care. That's the truth. You have to accept it. So being connected means you're feeling peaceful and you're present. Oh, isn't that beautiful? So by using love, by using the pillar of empathy, you are now compassionate. You are now raising your emotional intelligence. You are putting your ego aside and telling it to just be quiet for a minute and giving it, I don't know, a cup of tea and biscuit. You are bringing about awareness, reflecting, understanding, reaching out, and you're connecting, which means you're at peace. Isn't that what we all crave? I do. It's not about you. I do. What's the moral of this story? It's a good question, yes. What's the moral of the story? The real lesson. Empathy isn't just a feeling. It's actually a choice. I know. Profound. It's the choice to stop reacting to the story in your head. How many of us are telling ourselves a story about someone else's story? And everybody's responding to each other's fictional narratives. And so how present and in reality are we really? Not very. In each and every moment, this is something that you want to be looking at and working on and being aware of. And to start asking, listening, and seeing what's actually the truth, not assumption, not narrative. Most of what we believe isn't actually the truth. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but it isn't. It's what we think is happening. Empathy cuts through all of that BS, and it gets down to finding out what the truth actually is. And that's empathy for you. I'm not even talking about empathy for another. When you are being empathic with yourself, you would do that. And that would lead you here. Connected, peaceful, emotionally intelligent, present. It's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you want to do that? I don't understand. And if you don't, that's fine. But then it's okay then if you continue to choose fear. It really is. And it's okay for you to accept that a consequence of that is a lack of connection. It is loneliness. It is this darkness inside that feels really heavy. And it is a lack of emotional intelligence. Question for reflection. Where in your life right now could you pause, suspend your ego, and make the first move to check in with someone? Not to defend yourself, not to attack them either, not to justify, but to truly just understand them. Where in your life right now could you pause, suspend your ego, and make the first move to check in with someone? Not to defend yourself, but to truly understand them. Again, pop your answers in the comments below. Now, how to practice what you are learning. Remember, all of this is great, and you can go off and spout this stuff off to everybody. But if you're not applying this knowledge, if you're not putting what it is you are learning into practice, then it's useless. Okay, because learning all of this and telling everybody about it is not why you're learning it. The best teachers are those that are practicing what it is that they are preaching, not just preaching it. So become a practicer of what you preach, not a preacher of something that you don't practice. Think of a person. So here's an activity. Here's a personal development opportunity I'm going to pass your way that I'd like you to go away and possibly have a go at. Think of a person that you felt distant from, I don't know, unsure about, or maybe frustrated with, annoyed, I don't know, that you've got confusion and some narrative around, okay? Think of a person in your existence. And then ask yourself, what story am I telling myself about them? Write it down. Yeah, write down from each aspect of yourself, whatever your adult says, whatever your little one says, whatever your teen says. What story am I telling myself about them? And then ask yourself, what might be going on for them that I can't see, or that I don't know, or that I am not privy to? And again, don't tell yourself a story about why you're not privy to it, because that's just another story. Okay? Don't let your rejection trauma kick off and then stop you from behaving in a more balanced, more empathic, aligned way. Then reach out. I know. Scary. Send a message. Make the first move. Practice suspending your ego. Choose connection over assumption. How about that? Yeah. How does that make you feel? What do you think when you read that or hear that? Now, aspects to consider with this particular activity. Okay, so everything comes with consequences. Understanding that is the key to you developing your emotional intelligence and making decisions based on consequences. Okay, and that's important because that's what love does. So, first question to consider, are you in the right frame of mind right now to do this? What does that mean? Do I have the right amount of energy? Am I a little bit impatient at the moment? If they said something to me that I did not agree with or I did not like, or if they ignored me, how would I feel? If I am going to have big reactions to that, then I am maybe not in the right frame of mind to do this. Because if I'm going to do this, then I need to do it properly. I must have zero expectations. Okay. Whenever you act in any way or reach out or try to make amends, you must never have any expectations about what you're going to get back, because that's the second pillar of love, respect. They have the right to be them. And however it is that they are going to choose to respond to you, they're allowed to. You get angry about that, you're moving into fear. You're not actually using love. A more balanced response is an emotionally intelligent response is, but they have every right to feel that way. I didn't do that for them. I didn't reach out for them. I reached out for me, either for closure or so that I can make sense of whatever it is for me, for my feelings, for my well-being, for my growth, for my betterment and my peace. So remember, when you get upset if somebody's responded to you or not, what is that really about? It's not even about them. It's about you. Again, bring it back to you. Bring it back to you. I may not get the response I want. How will I feel? What would I do? How would I behave? Am I in the right frame of mind to take that on, should that be the case? I must respect their right to be as they are, choose to respond, choose not to respond, choose to respond with something I don't like. They might even come back with something that's a bit attacking or a bit mean. We don't know. And if you're going to reach out, you have to reach out understanding that they are all probabilities. And that's how love works. Love works on, well, what's the probability of that? Well, it is there. So you can't just discount it. That doesn't make sense. Objectively, you have to account for it. And then go, well, if that happens, how would I feel? I'm not saying it will or it won't. So have a think about all of that. And if you feel like you are in the right frame of mind to do this, then do it. And please, if you do, get back to me and let me know. Pop it in the comments below. I really, really want to know how you're getting on with these things. Okay. That's all I'm going to give you for now, because that's a lot and I'd like you to think about it and ponder on it and do what you've got to do with it. So, closing thoughts. Empathy begins with catching the stories in your head, suspending ego, and choosing to check in. Real connection isn't passive. It's created by those willing to make the first move and seek what's true, not stick with the story or narrative. I like that. But of course I do. I wrote it. Where in your life, which is your reflection question, where in your life right now could you pause, suspend your ego, and make the first move to check in with someone? Not to defend yourself, but to truly understand them. Obviously, keep in mind, you need to be in the right frame of mind to do this. Otherwise, if you feel like you're not, then don't. Because you will be the one that will be privy to the consequences of what may or may not happen. Again, I'll be running through this question. Send me in your answers. Pop them in the comments. Do your thing. Check out my next video to delve in deeper. I'll be doing the same thing again, but this time with respect. Thank you very much for joining me. Jot down your answers, reflections, comments below. Send in any questions that you've got that come up for you, or any reflections, and I can include them in next week's video. Thank you very, very, very much for joining me. Pleasure as always. Bye.